I am so excited to share with you all of my closet and clothing and some accessory organizing hacks. These are things that I have maybe shared throughout the years in sporadic videos and a few new things. So before we jump into it, I do want to mention that there are a few things that there's really no hack for it. And a lot of closet and clothing organization is going to be what works for you and for your space. I get questions a lot on what's the best thing to do with this type of clothing. Is it best to hang it or is it best to fold it? Take, for example, jeans. I don't really think there's a best way to organize jeans. It's what works for your space. If you have more hanging space, hanging might be a better option. If you have more drawer space, drawer organization might be a better option. Sweaters, I have folded here, you'll see. I think it's great to fold big and bulky sweaters, and then I store thinner and slimmer sweaters on hangers. But again, it's what works for you. But with that, let's jump into some of the hacks, starting with our hanging space. In terms of hanging organization, the two biggest things that you can do to make a large impact in your closet is number one, sort by both style and by color. I like to do style sorting first, and then within each style, sort that in rainbow order. It helps me to find what I'm looking for, both the sleeve length, whether it's a top or if I'm looking for a skirt versus pants or a dress. And then if I'm trying to match outfits together, then I can figure out what color scheme I'm looking for. Or of course, if I'm trying to find something specific, it makes it much easier. That will also help with visual appeal, but the main factor in helping with your visual appeal is going to be having consistent hangers. I kind of don't really care what hangers you use, whether they're velvet hangers, wood hangers. I have a clear plastic hanger. They should of course hold your clothing on there properly, not stretching out shoulders of shirts and not having shirts fall off, that type of thing. But other than that, whatever works for you, make sure it's consistent across your whole closet. Let's talk about long hanging space. It always seems like there's too much of it or not enough of it. And for me, I feel like I don't have enough. So my hack, if you have a long dress, is simply to take the dress and thread it through a pants hanger. So you'll see I have it thread through. I'm gonna pull it down and you can simply fold it up and hook it in. And then it fits in a short hanging space and you didn't have to buy anything extra or special. If you have too much long hanging space and you have a lot of clothing and you want to take advantage of it, you could always link two shorter things together the same way and hang it that way and kind of double up on your long hang and take advantage of that space. If you're looking for a few decluttering hacks, I have some for you. The first one is to have a bin in your closet that is meant for anything that you are ready to part with, whether it's going to be for donations or giving to a friend. If it's something you actually need to throw in the garbage, you could probably just go ahead and toss it in the garbage right away. But you need to take action the second you put something on your body, look in the mirror, decide you don't like the way that it looks, it's not your style anymore. Whatever brings you to the point that you decide you don't want it anymore, take action immediately. Do not hang it back up in your closet. Put it in that bin, and once that bin is full, you can take care of it, give to friends and family, donate, or what have you. If you're not sure about what you want to declutter and you're trying to go through your closet and figure it out maybe on a slower timeline, there are two different ways that I like to do this. The first one is I grab a piece of clothing every time I wear it, and instead of placing the hanger directly in this way, I will flip the hanger and reverse it so I know that I've already worn that clothing. And then after however long I want to take, maybe 6 months, 3 months, if you want to take a whole year, if you haven't worn that clothing in that period of time, maybe it's time to get rid of it. If I haven't worn it in 6 months, if I haven't worn it in a year, am I really going to wear it? Probably not. It's not getting regular use. Time for it to go. The other way that you could do it is I have started doing it this way. I have all of my clothing in color order here, but you might see at the front it looks a little bit jumbled. And that is because once I've worn a piece of clothing, then I move it to the front and I'm starting a new pile of rainbow order. And then everything left at the back side is going to be things that I haven't worn yet. And again, same mentality. After a certain period of time, if I haven't worn anything in that back pile, it is time for it to go. My biggest advice when it comes to drawer organization is number one, file folding. First of all, look how pretty it looks all organized. Second of all, you can grab and see everything you want without toppling over the entire pile. I also like using these drawer dividers. They are tension based. So you'll see they're spring loaded and you can put them in your drawer that way. I bought these ones because they're bamboo and match my drawer here, but I will show you in our son's room a white option that has a little bit more versatility. The other thing I'll say that I love about these is that they are customizable, so you can move them as wide or as narrow as you want to sort and organize the exact item of clothing you have in your drawer. I'm going to be sharing a whole nother video on my Sophisticated Motherhood channel on kids clothing organization, how I go about that, but I did want to pop into my kids' bedrooms and show you how I sort their clothing as well. I have more dividers here. These dividers are actually great because there are subsections that you can create. But one of the real hacks here is that I have labeled the drawers. Great for kids' clothing because it rotates out so often, but it can be great for your drawers as well. So keep in mind that these labels will peel off. They don't damage your furniture, at least as far as I've noticed, and can be really helpful and handy in keeping things tidy. If you're not a huge fan of those tension drawer organizers and you still want to file fold your clothing, a great option could be what I have in our older son's room, which is these drawer dividers, especially the ones that are expandable so they can fit your drawer perfectly. This one I don't have as much stuff in, so I keep it closed up. But in drawers like this, I have it expanded all of the way. There is a full collection, which I'll link in the description box below, of this line. There's the expandable option. They have it in 2 different versions. They also have some that are just modular that you can put next to each other that don't necessarily expand, but they keep your clothing tidy and in a nice little neat line and have these compartments for your clothing instead of having the tension rods if that's not something that you like. Don't be afraid to get creative with the inserts. Here I have my sock organizer and you'll see it is something that I can plop right into my dresser drawer, no problem. And it's very easy to use and has a couple of dividers in it. I have some other items like this where I store all of my tank tops. Again, can put it straight in my dresser. And then my favorite hack for smaller items like swimsuits or maybe even intimate items is these organza bags. They come in a nice pack on Amazon. I will link them in the description box. This is a 2-piece swimsuit. It works for a 1-piece swimsuit. You don't even have to fold it properly. You just put it in there, close it up, and I store them upside down like this in a nice little line in my drawer. If you're tight on space for shoe organization, number one, if you have peg organizers like this, whether you're using them for your shoes or for your clothing, I would always suggest making sure you have enough shelves. If you feel like you're lacking shelves, you can always go to your local hardware store. I like to run to Home Depot, give them the measurements of my shelves, have them cut extra shelves for me, and then I go buy some extra of the pegs to put in those holes, and I can take advantage of the complete vertical space. So know that that is always an option for you. And then if things are tight, my shoes happen to fit 3 across this direction, but if you flip your shoes so they are opposite directions, they will save a whole bunch of space that way. And again, you don't have to buy an extra organizing product or anything to take advantage of all of the horizontal space you have. A great option for tall, floppy boots is a pool noodle. You can stick them right in so they don't flop over like that. They'll stay upright in your closet. It's cheap. Nobody knows or cares what color the noodle is, so don't worry about that, and keep your boots looking perfect in your closet. I'm of the belief that any organizing product can be used in any area of your home. It doesn't have to be specific for a kitchen or specific for an office in this case. I have used letter sorters in my closet for years and years, letter sorters, and I'll show you in just a moment paper sorters. So I have these letter organizers for my shoes here. You'll see I also have them for clutches. Those small items fit perfectly together. I can either slide my sandals together like that, or I can reverse them and put them together this way, kind of depending on how the sandals work and how they fit. It is a much more compact way to store things. You'll see how many pairs of sandals I can fit in that way. Same with purses. Smaller purses fit great in these letter sorters. And then I want to show you how I store the rest of my purses. My other purses you'll see here I have in a different type of paper sorter, letter organizer type device. This I use for clutches. So looking at those different supplies and seeing what's going to work best for the type of purses that you have in your closet, the types of shoes that you have in your closet, just really think outside of the box. But letter sorters and paper organizers are where it's at for purses and flip-flops. While I think drawer organization can be really great for jewelry, if you have a cute little jewelry box, that's wonderful, but the biggest hack is to make sure you have hanging storage for your necklaces. Doesn't matter if it is on the wall like I have here, or if it's maybe something that sits on top of your vanity. If your jewelry box has a spot to actually hang necklaces, that's great, but if you are going to put them inside a drawer all up in a pile, you're going to end up with knots. That is no fun, so make sure whatever you do, your necklaces are hanging. The last thing that I'll mention isn't for clean clothing, it's for dirty clothing. I have this large furniture unit in my bedroom here, but you could have it in your closet. It pre-sorts all of my laundry for me. So I have a delicate bin, a light bin, a dark bin, a towel bin, and so on. And it is the best hack. I absolutely love it. I've done it for years and just kind of DIY'd this situation. So any furniture piece could go. That is it for today's quick hack video. If you have another hack that you want to share, let me know in the comments below. But until next time, I will see you all later.